So this is the last lesson before our test. Today we are talking about compound events. So these are notes number 706. Make sure you have those out. A compound event exists of two or more events. As with a single event, the probability of a compound event is the quotient of the number of favorable outcomes and the number of possible outcomes. So you'll still end up with a fraction, change it to a decimal or a percent. So right here it says, what is the probability of rolling a number greater than 4 and flipping tails? So a number greater than 4, that's the 5 and the 6. And flipping tails, so it has to be the ones with the tails. So it'd be these two right there. So you would have a 2 out of, and there's 12 possibilities. So a 1 in 6 chance. That would be about 17%. Now, the other way to do it is go, okay, what's the chance of getting a number greater than 4? There are 2 of them. 2 out of the 6 numbers. And what's the chance of getting the tails? That's 1 out of 2 possibilities, because 1 tails out of 2 possibilities. So if you go 2 6 times 1 half, that would give you 2 twelfths, which would also simplify to 1 sixth. So that's the quicker way to do it. So what is the probability of rolling at most 4? So at most a 4 means the biggest number would be 4, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4 out of 6 possibilities for that. And then flipping a heads, there's 1 heads out of 2 possibilities. So 4 over 6 times 1 half equals 4 twelfths, which would simplify to 1/3. That's about 33% if you want to do it as a percent. That's a repeating decimal. All right, let's look at this one. You flip 3 nickels. What is the probability of flipping 2 heads and 1 tails? So here's the heads, here's the tails. So the first one could be either heads or tails, the second one heads or tails, and then the third flip. So when we're looking for a probability of flipping 2 heads and 1 tails, since order doesn't matter, there's 1, 2, and 3 possibilities. So that would be 3 out of, and a total of 8. So 3/8, or about 37.5%. What's the probability of flipping at least 2 tails? So we're looking for some that have 2 tails. Here's one that has 2 tails, 2 tails, other 2 tails, and we do include this one because it says at least 2 tails, so we can have 2 or more tails. So that would be 4 out of the 8 possibilities, which would simplify to 1/2. So whenever you're flipping a coin, if you're doing it multiple times, I would do a little sample space and try to figure out how many of each happen. All right, let's look at the next page. You spin the spinner and flip the coin. What is the probability of spinning a prime number and flipping a tails? So you're looking for prime numbers. For the prime numbers on the spinner. 1 is not prime. 2 is prime. 3 is prime. 4 is not. 5 is prime. So that is 3 out of 5 possibilities that are prime times, and what's the chance of getting tails? 1 out of 2. So 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. So we have a 3 in 10 chance, which is also 30%. So make sure you know what a prime number is. All right, what is the probability of spinning a multiple of 2 and flipping a heads? Multiples of 2 are what is 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. So it'd be 2, 4, and there is no 6. So that would be 2 out of 5 times, and then flipping the heads is 1 out of 2. So that would be 2 out of 10, or 1 out of 5, which would be 20%. So you're just taking the probability of each event and then multiplying them together. All right. A student randomly guesses the answer for each of the multiple choice questions. Oh, you guys wouldn't do that. What is the probability of answering all 3 questions correctly? So if only one of these answers is correct out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choices, you'd have a 1 in 5 chance of getting the first one, a 1 in 5 chance in the second one, and for the third one, it would also be a 1 in 5 chance. So that would be 1 over 125. Now, if you change that to a percent, that would be about 0.8%. So that's why the kids that guess all the time usually fail the test. So I hope you study. All right, let's turn the page. Brian rolled a number cube and flipped a quarter. What is the probability of rolling a number greater than 4 and flipping tails? So if we're thinking of a number cube, which numbers are greater than 4? So we have this right here. So the numbers greater than 4 would be the 5 and the 6. And then flipping the tails. So we would end up with the 1/6 again. So if you had 2 over 6 times 1 over half, that would end up being 2/12, which simplifies to 1/6. All right. So Paul rolled a number cube and flipped a quarter. What's the probability of rolling at most a 4? So the most, that's the biggest. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and flipping ahead. So this would be 4 out of 6 possibilities. Getting the heads would be 1 out of 2. So that would be 4/12, which is 1/3. Okay. You spin a spinner and flip a coin. Find the probability of the 2 events. Spinning a 2. See, there's only 1 2 out of 5 numbers. Always check the spinner to make sure how many possibilities. And then flipping the tails, whenever you're flipping a coin, it's always 1 out of 2. So that would end up giving us 1/10, which is 10%. All right, let's go to the last page. Alright, spinning a 7. What's the chance of getting a 7? 0. Flipping a heads is 1 out of 2. But 0 times 1/2 is 0. No chance of getting a 7 and flipping a heads. Alright, last one. What about not spinning a 4? How many numbers are not a 4? 4 of them out of the 5. Then flipping tails. So that would be 4 out of 10, which would simplify to 2/5, which would be 40%. So it's up to you if you want to put a fraction or a percent. All right, that's the notes for today. Go ahead and do the homework. And then your test is tomorrow, so make sure you're ready for it.